This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, 125 years since women successfully fought for the right to vote is celebrated nationwide. Southland pupils are asking, what is the best way to preserve breed, and do boys or girls grow faster? And a small but enthusiastic group protested for better pay and conditions at Dunedin's courthouse. Kia ora and good evening, I'm Sophie Morris. Today marks 125 years since women successfully fought for the right to vote, making New Zealand the first country to allow women to do so. Southern Region Police have taken part in events to mark the milestone, including at Dunedin's Octagon.
Rallying the troops. Police officers assembled on the Municipal Chamber steps today as part of celebrations marking the day 125 years ago when women were given the right to vote. Constable Adele Williams says it took a while longer for women to be accepted into the police.
It's probably brought us a long way forward in the future. So 125 years ago we got the right to vote in New Zealand, but it's only been 77 years since we've had women in the police. So I believe that has some significance in where we are today.
Dunedin City Councillor Rachel Elder represented the city at today's event, bringing a keen sense of history.
Women's suffrage came out of the women's temperance movement, which was about New Zealand was going through a depression in the 1880s, and there was a lot of problems with alcohol and family violence, and people spending too much money on alcohol and not paying the mortgage or the rent, and so women wanted a voice in that, and so the women's temperance movement was born.
Elder says Southern women led the charge then and have been leading the way ever since.
We also had the first women's school, girls' school. We had the first woman going through university, so the women in Dunedin had already been flexing their muscles and making things good for women here. So I think that's quite exciting. We were actually the first.
Constable Williams is proud to be one of a growing number of women who've entered the police force in recent years and says she has pretty straightforward reasons for joining.
To help people, that's the most important thing about being out in the community and people feeling safe and being safe.
Currently 18% of New Zealand police are women, with that number set to rise in the coming years. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Meanwhile, hundreds of people took to the streets of Ashburton in a memorial walk led by 6 pipers to celebrate the landmark event in New Zealand's history. The walk was organised by the Mid-Canterbury Suffrage 125 Committee. Women and men gathered at Bearing Square. Some dressed in period costume, others in the purple and white colours of the suffrage movement, marching from the cenotaph to the Ashburton Domain under the skirl of the bagpipes. Mount Hutt and Ashburton College's head girls concluded the memorial walk with the planting of a Kate Shepherd rose in the Domain. What's the best way to preserve breed? Who grows the fastest, boys or girls? Southland school pupils have been working to answer some of life's important questions and have presented their findings at the Southland Science and Technology Fair in Invercargill.
Hundreds of primary and secondary pupils exhibiting their science and technology research projects to be scrutinised by a panel of judges. Pupils selected a question to investigate and were tasked with controlling the variables while doing so. Southland Science and Technology Fair head judge Samantha York says it can be quite nerve-wracking.
They've done a considerable amount of work in some cases, and they have to kind of convey the essence, if you like, of their project.
After more than 20 years judging, York has seen a lot of projects, but she says some still manage to surprise.
I think when you do something really challenging, you find out a lot about yourself, and this is quite challenging for a lot of kids. But every so often you just go, wow, that idea is just so amazing, why didn't we think of that?
Haroko Valley Primary is a first-time entry at the fair, driving an hour from Western Southland to exhibit its projects. Pupils Jendi Minty and Taylor Davey Hubbard have tried to find the best way to preserve breed.
We had to wrap them in beeswax wrap, glad wrap, baking paper, a snap lock bag and glue. an airtight container.
And 6 mouldy sandwiches later came to their conclusion.
We found out that the snap lock bag had worked the best, so it had kept the moisture out for the longest, and we presumed that it had, from our hypothesis, we presumed that this would happen because it was airtight.
A prize giving announcing the winning entries will be held on Friday night in Invercargill, the South today.
Police deployed road spikes near Jacks Point this morning to stop a driver identified as a wanted person. Officers had attempted to stop the vehicle on Stanley Street at around 8:15, but the driver fled. Police say they followed for a time before abandoning for safety reasons. But they soon located the car and deployed spikes at about 9 a.m. on Kingston Road near Jacks Point, where the vehicle came to a stop. 2 men were arrested and charges are set to follow. A small but enthusiastic group have protested for better pay and conditions at Dunedin's courthouse. Ministry of Justice staff were joined by affiliated unions. Around 10 workers left their posts at the Dunedin courthouse and joined supporters on Stewart Street before walking to Castle Street. Once there, the protesters shook signboards and received many toots from passing cars and trucks. The workers are protesting for better pay conditions and intend to work to rule in the coming weeks. Still to come on the South today. A Swedish ambassador talks about plans for next year's celebration of 250 years since Captain Cook first visited New Zealand. And we take a look at the snowfall in Glenorchy.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Step into Shop on Carol and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Helping New Zealanders to do more. Talk to MTF today.
Spring is here and it's time to get in the garden. Ready Lawn will take care of your lawn needs, making lawn care a snap. They will install the perfect lawn while you plant your favourite flowers and vegetables. Call Ready Lawn today so you can enjoy the coming season.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274. If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Electrify NZ Dunedin sell quality European designed e-bikes with reliable componentry so that you too can wear the e-bike grin. Call in for your complimentary test ride today or book online. Find us at 249 Cumberland Street, phone 021 035 9820.
The Green Island Medical Centre offers everything for your family's needs. Whether you are travelling or coming in to discuss health symptoms, our medical staff provide the best of care. We offer Manage My Health, making booking an appointment or requesting a repeat prescription a breeze. We welcome families like yours. Give us a call today, phone 03 488 2754.
Welcome back. The latest ASB Regional Economic Scoreboard reveals the Otago economy is steaming. Otago jumped 3 places in the 3 months ending June to lead the ASB scoreboard ahead of Bay of Plenty and Hawke's Bay. ASB Chief Economist Nick Tuffley says employment charged ahead in the June year, with the region adding 10% more jobs compared to June last year. He says the tourism sector also managed to squeeze in more guests, unlike most other tourism hotspots. House price throughout the region remained impressive, with prices in Dunedin City continuing to outshine the Queenstown Lakes district. ASB anticipates Otago rural incomes are also strong. Just 11 customers remain without power in Glenorchy following Monday's big snow dump in the Queenstown Lakes region. This footage, shot by a local resident, shows the volume of snow which fell in Glenorchy earlier in the week. Aurora Energy says it battled extreme conditions to try and restore power to 3,000 properties. Heavy snow fell on trees, causing branches and power lines to fall on Glenorchy Road. The township was cut off for a day while crews cleared the blocked road, and it reopened to both lanes of traffic on Tuesday night. An update on the Aurora Energy website says the remaining outages are affecting 11 customers in the wider Glenorchy area. It's asking people to keep clear of fallen power lines or damaged electrical equipment and treat them as live at all times. Next year sees a celebration of 250 years since Captain Cook first visited New Zealand in 1769. One of the scientists on board was Swedish botanist Daniel Solander, who now has a trail in Dunedin Botanic Garden named after him. Today, the Swedish ambassador visited the walk and spoke of upcoming plans for next year's anniversary celebrations.
Taking a walk along the Solander Trail, the Swedish ambassador checking out native plants first described by Swedish botanist Daniel Solander, who accompanied Captain Cook on his first voyage to New Zealand.
The purpose for my visit here is to discuss with the community in Dunedin, University, Botanic Society and obviously the garden, how we can commemorate 1769 when Daniel Solander was the main botanist on board the Endeavour.
Alberger says Sweden will be putting a lot of effort into the upcoming 250th anniversary of Cook and Solander's visit to New Zealand.
It gives us, Sweden and New Zealand, it gives us an occasion for conversation on botany, biodiversity and sustainability. And I know that both our countries, we rank that very high on our respective agendas.
The garden's trail features 10 of the many native plants Solander described while here. Information Services Officer Claire Fraser says visitors should feel free to use a little fold-out guide to assist their walk.
And so they're all in this wee brochure, and it's a tiny little walk really. It's not more than 100 metres from one plant to another, and visitors can see them in probably about, I don't know, half an hour.
Alberger is keen to point out that Tupaia, the Hawaiian guide who acted as translator between Captain Cook and the Maori, assisted Solander in describing New Zealand's trees and plants.
We know from the manuscripts from Solander that he also documented the Maori names of these plants collected. And it was obviously done through Tupaia. So I think what I hope is that the story of Solander and the story of Tupaia, they are mutually reinforcing. In a way you could describe them as outsiders possibly on the ship in terms of nationality, but also the background as scholars.
The Solander Trail is one of several walks around the Botanic Garden that now have their own pamphlet to assist walkers. In Dunedin, for the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, we check out a chef's competition and we take a look at tomorrow's weather.
The Green Island Medical Centre offers everything for your family's needs. Whether you are travelling or coming in to discuss health symptoms, our medical staff provide the best of care. We offer Manage My Health, making booking an appointment or requesting a repeat prescription a breeze. We welcome families like yours. Give us a call today, phone 03 488 2754.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garrador to protect your important stuff. Just like Darren. His Garrador keeps his favourite ride in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
For more than 50 years, Roslyn Mowers and Heating have been selling and servicing quality lawn mowers and outdoor power equipment. Bring your mower, chainsaw, garden equipment in for repair or service and you go in the draw to win a Husqvarna petrol line trimmer. See you in store soon.
Active Interior Design in Mornington are the curtain and blind experts. The team can even advise you on outdoor products and will ensure that everything is perfect. For interior design with flair, call Active to book your free in-home consultation or call into the showroom in Mornington.
Motor Trade Finance proudly brings you Rural Delivery. A look at the places and faces behind New Zealand agriculture. Tuesday evenings 8:30, repeating Saturday morning at 8 and Sunday afternoons 4:30.
Welcome back. The Otago rugby team will wear a replica of the strip it donned 20 years ago as part of its heritage celebrations to mark the deeds of the 1998 Otago rugby and netball sides, which both won national titles. Otago take on Canterbury in a Mitre 10 Cup match on Saturday at Forsyth Bar Stadium. The Otago Union has organised a number of functions on Friday for the celebrations. The Otago Champions function on Friday has sold out and will be followed by another event later that evening. About 20 members of the champion rugby side are attending the celebrations, while nearly all the members of the victorious Otago netball side will be at the festivities. Temperatures will be rising in some Dunedin restaurant kitchens as their chefs prepare to go head-to-head in a competition first for Dunedin City. The Farm to Fork competition is part of the Great Kiwi Home and Living Show at Forsyth Bar Stadium in November. But while the chefs are embracing the fresh food show cook-off, they're also full of admiration for their culinary colleagues.
The sweat, the time pressure, the crowds, the mystery ingredients. These top 4 Dunedin chefs are adamant they're up to the task. They're preparing to go head-to-head at a Farm to Fork mystery box competition being run for the first time as part of the Fresh Food Show at the Great Kiwi Home and Living Show at Forsyth Bar Stadium in early November.
Super excited. Just like the calibre of chefs that are going to be there is going to be amazing, and it's going to be a bit of fun, a bit of banter.
But it's a step into the unknown. They'll be given time to prepare, but only 1 hour to cook 2 servings each of an entree and main.
Sounds like a quick cook-off, bit of fun.
Their only cooking appliance is a gas barbecue each, plus a shared charcoal barbecue.
It's always a bit of fun just hanging out with people you kind of get along with and chefs you don't see a lot of in Dunedin.
A A selection of farmed proteins will be made available for them to choose from, alongside an extensive pantry of ingredients.
I think once people see what chefs actually do outside kitchens, it's different watching on TV than watching live events. So I think it's definitely going to take off, and it's going to be a big element of the show as it comes back every year.
O'Connell's an old hand at competitions, having competed at Culinary Olympics for both Ireland and New Zealand. He's advising his fellow chefs to keep it simple, but there's a hint of trepidation at what ingredients they'll be given to work with.
If Greg Piner's involved, there's always going to be a curveball left-right.
The chefs admit cooking in front of a crowd will be different, as most of them enjoy the sanctuary of their kitchens, but there's no doubt these local chefs are up to the challenge.
The calibre of chefs down here is like, it's right up there with the guys up in Auckland, and I think we should celebrate that, which we sort of are in November, showcasing what these guys are all about.
The dishes will be judged by a panel, with marks given for innovation, presentation and taste. In Dunedin, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The 125th anniversary of women winning the right to vote has been celebrated nationwide, including by Southern Police in the Octagon. Budding Southland scientists put their best brains forward at a science fair and asked some tricky questions like who grows faster, boys or girls? And a small but enthusiastic group of Ministry of Justice staff protested for better pay and conditions at Dunedin's courthouse. And time now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Barry.
Sophie, how are you? We also looked at the celebrations for the 125th anniversary of women's suffrage, so we have coverage of activities throughout the region on that, so good stories there. An Oamaru speed camera, careful going through Oamaru, an Oamaru speed camera snagged more than 10,000 vehicles over a 4-month period, bringing in a tidy sum of $1 million for the police over that 4-month period, so fairly lucrative there, but if you speed, you pay the price, clearly. So DOC has set up plans to run a course on how to train your dog to not attack seals. Could come in handy. A new boss has been appointed at the Otago Corrections facility in Milton. And a developer of a special housing area on the outskirts of Lake Hawea will look to the community for ideas on how to improve the integration with the existing township. So a positive move there. Lots of sport happening around the place. We have a solid preview of the Southland-Northland match and lots of other activity.
Oh, great. Well, thank you, Barry.
Thank you.
All of that and more in tomorrow's ODT. And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with tonight's southern view, taken off the spire at First Church. Looking at the situation, a cold front brings some rain to the west and south of the region tomorrow, but expect a return to mostly fine weather on Friday, ahead of more fronts arriving at the weekend. Starting at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport, you're in for clouds and a high of 15. Across to the northeast, Nelson cloudy with 19 degrees, Blenheim you also have odd cloud but a warmer high of 21 degrees. And to Canterbury, Kaikoura, a few clouds and a high of 18. Christchurch, high cloud with 19 degrees, and Ashburton, also expecting cloud and 18 degrees. Looking at the southern towns, Balclutha, Catlins, Gore and Lumsden can all expect southwesterly change, some rain with 14 degrees. Moving west to the Central Lakes, Alexandra, Queenstown and Wanaka can expect developing southerlies, cloud increasing and highs between 14 and 15 degrees. But expect showers in Tiano with fresh westerlies and a high of 13. Up to the north, Omarama and Twizel, light winds, cloud increasing and a high of 14, but slightly warmer along the coast for Oamaru and Timaru with highs of 16 to 17 degrees. In Dunedin, fine tonight with northwesterly winds and an overnight low of 5. Cloud lowering on Thursday with mostly sunny skies and light winds. 15 will be the high and 6 the low. Cooler on Friday with moderate southerly winds and high cloud increasing. A high of 13 and a low of 4. And in Invercargill, cloud increases tonight with 7 being the overnight low. Cloudy periods with rain developing during the day with a high of 14. Clearing on Friday, looking at a high of 12 degrees and a low of 5. That's all for our news this Wednesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online and follow us on Facebook, YouTube and at channel39.co.nz as well as odt.co.nz. Thanks for joining us. Take care. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.